I am out of town at the moment visiting family, so hopefully I can hold this camera relatively still and not make you guys nauseous with this shaky camera. So the question was, we have this equation right here and we're trying to get it into this vertex form. And in the video I mentioned there's a couple of ways of doing that. One which I must have called witchcraft because I've gotten a couple of messages about it. And the other one I'll now refer to as the less witchy version down here. So witchcraft goes with completing the square. Less witchy, that's going to be our vertex form, which is part of our quadratic formula. And the question was, what happens if I forget witchcraft on the exam? Can I still get this right? Absolutely. Both of these are going to get you to the exact same spot. It's just sometimes one version is easier and outside, so I'm getting a little wind. And sometimes the other is easier depending on what you're working with. So it's good to have more than one tool in the toolbox. So let me do the completing the square version, which is the witchy one. So with that, and completing the squares, okay, if this is an even number and this is 1, this isn't a bad way to go. Anything other than that, it's probably not a good way to go. But on those circumstances, it's pretty easy. So all you're doing is taking half of the middle term. So half of 8 made 4, 4 squared makes 16. So that is the completing the square. Normally we would add that to both sides of the equation, but this time I don't want to mess up my f of x, so I just go plus minus on the same side, which is the exact same thing as though if it weren't there. It's just 0. It's just giving it a different look. And what that allows me to do is then factor this piece right here down to what multiplies 16 add to be 8. It's got to be the number you squared because that's what we're making it do. So there's our x plus 4. And then that kind of magical minus 16 that we needed to cancel out this plus 16, that rolls in with a 13 and then becomes the k coordinate. And then something else on this, the a in this form down here, which is what we're shooting for. So this a, when you're back here, if this is a 1x squared, that a will be a 1. If that's a 2x squared, that a will be 2, because you would have factored it out front in this case, which is what I would do it this way. But the number in front in either form is going to be the same. So then to do the second version, which is less witchy, which I have a formula for, so that's probably more comfortable. This is based off the quadratic formula, so it's the negative b over 2a part. It's the first half of the fraction, and that gives you the x coordinate of the vertex. What this plus or minus b squared minus 4ac does is takes you from the vertex and gets you to the x-intercept with the plus, and then the x-intercept to the minus. So that's plus and minus. That's actually that distance. But this part gives you x coordinate of the vertex, and then to get y, we just plug it back in. So that's all I did here was I just grabbed my a, tossed it in, got my x coordinate is -4, plug that back in, boom, there we are with that. And I got the exact same -3, and so then you can see here's my vertex. I'm just dropping them right in the exact same formula, and you get the exact same answer. So they both get you there. Hopefully that was helpful.